All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back. So we are reporting today on one of the most horrific tragedies that I have heard of in recent memory. There's flash flooding yesterday and today, 4th and 5th of July in Texas. It's unbelievable, and our connection to this, or like the impact on our family is bigger than normal due to a couple things we'll talk about in the video. But the two dozen children that got swept away in the flash flood that are still missing are her age. This is Georgia, my daughter. This is my youngest daughter. Georgia, say hi.
Hi.
How long ago was it when Mommy and I talked about sending you and your sisters to sleepaway camp? You think that like within like a week ago probably is when we started talking about that? Do you remember that? Where I said, we started talking about sleepaway camps. We were like, you were not privy to that conversation? Oh, you must have been on your iPhone. I'm taking your phone.
I did not. I was not. I wasn't even there.
What?
I didn't know it. I have no idea what you're talking about.
I know you don't.
I don't.
Because we
I
were
wasn't
definitely
there.
No, we were definitely talking about it, and you clearly were not listening, which means the phone has melted your brain, and we are going to have to
look how long I've been on it.
Look at how long you've been on it?
Yeah.
I know how long you've been on it because we set the parental controls for how long you can be on it.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You did not.
I did. Look at how pretty she is, dude. Imagine this times 24 missing. Like the people who have kids, like people who have kids, and we're going to look at this story in detail, but like people who have kids, try to actually imagine going through a situation where it's not like they found the kids and they passed. They're missing, okay? Like we all know the 95 to 98% chance that, we know what happened to them. But I am not convinced that is even worse than the feeling, like at least the period when they're missing, where you don't know if they might be like in the middle of nowhere by themselves in a tree, starving and freezing and screaming for their mom into nothing. It's like just that thought is so horrifying to me that I don't know. I would never stop looking for you. You know that, right?
Yeah.
I would literally, I would find you no matter what if you were ever missing for any reason.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody ever tried to hurt you, I would end their bloodline.
Yeah, you say that every day. You do.
It's true every day. All right. Thank you, Georgia. That is, you have served your purpose for this video. I love you. Go with your sisters. We're leaving in 45 minutes for the movie.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to look at the flooding and all that stuff and talk more in detail about exactly what happened. And the images of the flooding are unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. There's a flood literally 8 minutes from our house at a place that we've gone to a million times, and they're evacuated, like they're completely evacuated. But this is the camp where the 24 young kids were swept away, and this over here, it looks about to be the age of the kids. This website Camp Mystic is so it won't load because so many people are trying to get on there to look at the camp, and anyway, it's just a absolutely horrific tragedy. And I also really quick, I want to say that there was a post someone sent me on Facebook that said that one of the girls had been found downstream 12 miles. And I just started, like literally after I was just filming with Georgia, in between then and now when I'm filming again, we were just talking about that downstairs, and it turns out it was a fake story. I can't stress this enough. Anyone who made a fake story pretending that one of these kids was found is evil on a level that I don't even need to say anything about it because karma's going to get you, dude. Okay. For however long that story was up, which immediately went viral, which is I'm sure what their plan was, all of the parents of the missing kids had hope that it was their kid. Okay. So I hope you got your fucking clicks. I hope it was worth it. Anyway, so let's actually take a look at some of the flooding stuff, and then we'll talk like detail about what happened at the camp. But Um, this is
Summer's here.
Oh my God, I can't with the ads, dude. I can't. Let's just look at this one.
Story. So crazy. Panic is growing in Texas as at least 20 young girls from a summer camp along the Guadalupe River
It's 24 now.
remain missing after catastrophic flash floods swept through the area. Desperate parents are flooding social media with pictures of their daughters and posting urgent pleas for information.
And the rescue efforts are ongoing at this hour, but they're being hampered by downed power lines, the flooded roads, of course, and bad cell phone service to boot. John Fanolio, live in the news center. He's got more on the search efforts as that death toll, John, continues to rise.
Yeah, Rick, Court, we are seeing catastrophic flash flooding in the area of Kerrville, Texas, located in the central part of the state, just north of San Antonio. The National Weather Service says a month's worth of rain fell in just a few short hours as people slept early Friday morning. Texas officials say at least 24 people have died and dozens remain missing.
Oh my God. So the 24 that they have dead, now is, by the way, this is 12 hours ago. So the 24 that have died does not include the missing ones. Those are like people who they've found deceased, you know? So this death toll is going to be much higher, much higher. Because the thing about these areas where the flooding happens is they're not heavily populated, you know? And so there are going to be an unimaginable amount of people who were swept away and no one knows yet, because the way that they live, they don't have a lot of daily contact. And even with the people who they do have contact with, do not have the ability to get to where their homes are at this point, or the road that they were swept off of. So like, it's going to be a really big number when this is over. And apparently so the camp where this happened, it happened like really, really, really early in the morning, and they think that the cabins that the reason why their kids are all so young is because it's a specific age group, and they sleep together, and their cabin was situated in a position where when the flood happened, it just swept their cabins away, you know, because like in the actual footage of the flooding, which I'll show you guys shortly, it's like, I mean, honestly, there are cars, and like cars floating down this river as if they were like a rubber ducky, you know, like no resistance, a car, you know what I mean? Like a car, not bumping into the bottom or whatever, just flowing. Like you put a rubber ducky right next to the car and they would move the exact same speed. Like that's how powerful the floodwaters are. Okay, so this is about the camp where the kids are missing. So the girls' camp where 20 children are missing is nearly a century old. Camp Mystic on the banks of Guadalupe River near Hunt, Texas, has been operated by generations of the same family since the 1930s. So it's a Christian summer camp for girls on the Guadalupe River, where at least 20 children were missing with catastrophic flooding on Friday. Man, you want something that's going to shake your faith? You know what I mean? It's going to shake your faith in a big way. Send your kid to a Christian camp and then have them swept away by floodwaters with another 23 children that are their age all at once. You know? And the reason I even bring that up is because the way that I interpret everything in this life is through the eyes of other people, you know? Like if anybody watches my content consistently, like if you've been watching me for a couple years, then you already know, like I'm real good at predicting what people are going to do or why people are actually doing things. And, and that just comes from just a biological wiring that Georgia also has. Okay. I have 3 kids. The first 2 are not the same, but my youngest is exactly like me in this way, where the world only exists through understanding the experience of other people. And so when this stuff happens, that's all I think about. You know, I think about what the kids, you know, what it would have been like I've lived this out in my mind already today, is like being a child, finding yourself being swept away by floodwater, the unfathomable nature of it, that like trying to swim, trying to swim, but being 7 years old, and like the feeling of the just ineffectual nature of your ability to respond to things physically up against the heaviest weather, disaster possible. I mean, it's just, I've gone through that. And then I think about what it's like for these parents, Christian parents who sent their kids to a Christian camp, and a tragedy like this. I don't know how you reconcile, like, I'm not trying to poke holes in anyone's faith and religion at all. That's not my point. I'm saying, if it were me, I don't know how I could reconcile this happening in our lives, like to my baby, and if it was just my baby, maybe there's some way I could reconcile it, but mine and 24 others, why? Like that, I don't know. It would shatter my faith for sure. It just would. And just to reiterate, I am not making any kind of this is not a conversation about religion. It's a conversation about people, and the way that I understand the world. Anyway, so it says, in a brief email to parents on Friday morning, Camp Mystic said it had sustained catastrophic flood levels. The camp has 2 sites along the river. Man, getting that email, dude. Fuck, dude. You get that email, whichever parent reads it, and they scream to their spouse. Scream to their spouse. And they're reading it together. The fucking wave of panic, dude. Like, they start reading it and you say that the other one, are they okay? They're not, Parents of campers who have not been accounted for have been notified, the email says. About 750 girls were at the camp this week. The camp said it was assisting in a search and rescue operation, but it did not have power, water, Wi-Fi, and was struggling to get more help because nearby highway had washed away. On social media and text messages, parents circulated photos of some of the missing girls and exchanged hopeful stories that they were hearing about dramatic rescues, girls clinging to trees, floating downriver to a boys' camp 5 miles away. I mean, it is possible. Who knows, dude? Camp Mystic aims to provide young girls with a wholesome Christian atmosphere in which they can develop outstanding personal qualities and self-esteem. Draws from the families around Texas and beyond. It's just like, it's unfathomable, dude. And I want to show you guys some of the actual, like, oh, here we go.
There's very few concrete pads that even remain. The RVs were swept away, the concrete was swept away. I mean, the little ground is scoured away.
It looks like a hurricane tore through Texas hill country. But this storm had no name and no warning.
We realized that the water is rising really fast.
Car horns screamed as vehicles shorted out underwater.
We start banging on everybody's door, getting people out.
If you were lucky, someone banged on your door. If not, this is how you woke up.
Was this like a worst case scenario because it's the holiday?
Absolutely. They were full. They have 14 reservations missing. I have 6 people missing.
If you didn't get out on time and you were in an RV, this is unsurvivable. Look at this. This RV shredded, wrapped around the tree.
There's
another
RV.
one there.
That's an RV right there.
And then you can see another one down the river. This whole
Remember about the rubber duckies? I mean, that is the waters did that to an RV is actually even heavier than I realized. I mean, I basically took an RV down to the studs. This
whole area was full of RVs, cabins. Everyone was here for the holiday weekend. This is a really popular area to celebrate the 4th of July. And it's gone.
I'll tell you right now, if you go on X, you go on Twitter, there will be, without a doubt, lots of people who are going to say things like, oh, this happened in Texas at a Christian school. And they'll say something about it's karma because of their, oh, Texas bans abortion. And then on 4th of July, this happens to whatever. And there'll be people who make really nasty comments. And I would never incite, never actually incite. Like I say, like, oh, I protect my kids, or like, I just say dumb shit on the internet, and I never actually, like, I don't actually mean anything, like, as it relates to violence. But anybody who says a thing like that, who actually says that, who they are. It's a person that and they say something like that on Facebook, where they live. Like, people can't, like, I don't know. People can't get away with that. Like, we can't live in a world where that shit is allowed. Like, to be so cavalier, to think like that you are in such a moral high ground position to say a thing like that, because here's the thing. This is the reality, is that doesn't exist on the other side. Like, that just doesn't exist. The reason why I'm on the side that I'm on, the reason that I'm on the side that I'm on goes back to exactly what I was talking about how I experience and interpret the world through the eyes of other people. And so I don't, like, I'm not like a young guy, you know what I mean? I'm not like a young guy. Like, I've got some life under me, like a lot of life. And I've lived more life than most through my amount of years. I am an absolutely mid-functioning retard when it comes to tons and tons and tons and tons of things. But no one understands people better than I do. No one. There are people who understand. There are people who understand people like I do, like on an even level with me. But there's nobody who understands them more, And I could say this, like, factually. I'm on the side that I'm on because this is where the good guys are, okay? Like, this is where the good guys are. Culturally, and in terms of the voices that people listen to. Like, I'm not saying that every person who is like a conservative or whatever is a good person, and I'm not saying that all Democrats fall into the category I'm talking about, but what I'm saying is that kind of talk is acceptable on that side. Like, they say things like that, and that's acceptable. You know what I mean? Like, people can see a person on their side say a thing like that, and their own side will accept that. And it's not even arguable. It's like they are so up their own ass about that they're, right about everything, that they are evil, okay? Like, that's just what it is. And they don't see it. They are completely oblivious to it. It's very bizarre, dude. It's very bizarre. They don't see it. And I'm talking about the smart ones. I'm talking about the smart ones because when I say they don't see it, I'm talking about smart people who should see it and they don't. And if someone ever said a thing like that on our side, they would be they would be fucking kicked out of society forever. Okay. And we're not talking about like some like cancel culture thing, where, oh, this person said whatever about like this person made a joke about gays. And so let's destroy their career. I'm talking like, no, you're gone from society because you've revealed yourself to be unworthy of our attention or our business ever again. Did you hear anybody dancing on the graves of people who got burned to death in the LA fires because they live in LA? I mean, did you see, if I ever saw anybody say a thing like that, I would have fucking, again, they would be dead to me as far as I was concerned. You know, like, dead kids. Bet your fucking life that I'm right about that. Go on X. You will be able to find that very, very quickly. And you won't find any leftists condemning them for it. Anyway, that's enough.